Tonight we're going to continue knitting the dog sweater. This is still day 1, but part 2. So now we're on row 5. Let's see what happens here. Okay, now I didn't move as many forward as I did before. So we're just going to make sure that everybody knit off when they were supposed to. Okay, there's just a couple on this side. And of course that one. Okay, what are we doing? We need to increase another 3 stitches. All right. So 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. So this one now comes down. Those stay up, and this one comes down. Making sure stitches are in the right way. I want to make sure that those knit off. I'm going to use one of these. One of my extra small weights. That should help. Calming down. Moving my 7 weights. All right, I'm going to move all of these forward again so that they knit off. For row 6, knitting across. We are now increasing on the right side 3 more stitches. All right, so just like the other one, moving them up and down as required, and then moving the 7 weight. If your 7 weight refuses to go where you want it to, insert it from the top to the bottom, because you can actually do that. Make sure you move both sides. Taking a deep breath. As soon as these increases are all done, we can actually insert the fingers and use this machine to its full capacity. So row 7. row 7, we're increasing another 3 stitches. One, 2, 3. You should be at 37 left and 34 right if you're following along exactly. I can already tell that this second 7 weight isn't going to do as good a job. So we're going to have a little bit of an issue in here, but we'll see how that works. We'll keep an eye on it. Doing row 8. Row 8, we are increasing 3 stitches at the right. We're now at 37. Keep moving up the 7 weights. Okay, row 9. Row 9, we are increasing 2 stitches. So in this case, we could just put them right on the river, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep up with the same idea. Put them on the main, transfer them down, and move the 7 weight. Moving the 7 weight over. Are you in frame? Let me check. Well, we're out of frame. So I'm going to stop this video and then change direction. Okay, sorry I didn't realize you weren't in frame. So what I did is I moved the 7 weight over after I increased with an E wrap and then transfer. Makes sense. Moving my 7 weights. All right. Looks okay. Row 10 should be our last increase. Okay, so these two didn't knit off as well as they should. So we're going to manually knit them. Anything else not knit? Nope, we're all good. Okay, so now we're at 39 left and 39 right. These are up. These are transferring. So we were increasing 2 on this side, moving the 7 weights. Okay, that one's moved. And I'm just going to put this one from the top to the bottom. We're getting caught on something here. Okay, so I just need to make sure that's okay. This one is needing to be moved. All right, so I'm just going to find a little bit of extra weight for here. I'm going to use another one of these on this side of the bed. So, going up from underneath, around 22, putting it on there, and now that is all weighed down. I'm going to move these forward one more time. Okay, so we are ready for row 11. Here we go. Making sure that that knits off. And now we have 48 rows to knit before we do anything special. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully make sure that everything's knitting off before I put those fingers on. Or should I? You know what? I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to put the fingers back on now that we are done our increases. We're going to go nice and slow for row 12 and we'll see what happens. So with the fingers on, going across. What do we see? I see everything is knit off. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to back up the camera. And then we'll knit 47 more rows. All right, here we go. No tension has changed. We're still in 2x2. I'm not adding extra weight. I'm not doing anything special. We are just going to knit 47 more rows. So when you get to row 50, we will be on the same page. So let's go nice and slow. Making sure that these end ones actually do knit off. I'm kind of worried about these ones. I am going to move the weights up for these ones. every time the carriage is on that side, I will move up this side. When the carriage is on this side, I will move up the ones on this side. I think that's probably the best idea. Now there it did something weird. Looks like a fluffy part of my yarn. So we are just going to knit it off here. Not sure what was going on. Not sure if there was a knot in there or something. Put that down a little bit. I'm sure it'll be just fine. Now we're on this side. Moving that one up. See if we have the same issue. Okay, we seem to be pretty even here. We're now on row 15. Let me move this one up again. Make sure that you go past your work so that when the carriage is coming back, your flipper gets to flip. Otherwise, you will have an interference. Something is pulling here. Okay. Not sure why I have so much tension on my yarn, but there is. Everybody's happy. Everybody's knitting. We're now on row 19. So this is pretty much how it's going to be until we get to row 50. I'm just going to keep plugging at this nice and slowly to make sure everything knits off. So here we are on row 50. Going across. Nine more rows, and then we do something a little different. Seven, 8. All right. Now we need to put in a yarn marker. I have this really great contrast yarn here, and I'm going to put a yarn mark at the edge on both beds. Well, not both beds, both ends of the bed. So we will go yarn loop, onto the stitch on the ribber between the beds, just drop it, and then you need a clip. So now you clip it. Flipping it without seeing it isn't as easy as I thought it would be. Loop. Clip in hand. Pull it up just a little bit. Hook that loop. Now on this side, I'm going to try and grab it here. Okay, I got it this time. And I let it go. Okay. Clip in hand. Okay, got it on the first try. So this is the armhole mark. Now I have a whopping 2 more rows. And then we do something different. One. And one more. So now we need to put into hold right 1 to right 39. If I do that on this bed, I'm going to have a bad day because I still have many rows to knit and it's just going to bubble up and be yucky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all of my ribber stitches upward and I'm going to remove the entire thing on waste yarn. But before I do that, I am going to take another yarn mark and I'm going to make sure to mark 0, 0. So double eye this time. And I am marking 0. Now I've gone around that gate peg again. Okay, we are just at 0. Tying it. Putting it back in the double eye. And going between the beds. All right. You now need contrast yarn. Put it on your machine. And then we'll come back after I have transferred all of these ribber stitches onto the main bed, and then we'll remove this on waste yarn. So I'm going to pause this and then come back. So let's practice transferring. Up, close it, in, and around. Not sure if my big hand was in the way there. Up, close it, grabbing it, transferring it. Up, close it, grab it, transfer it. And this is all we do for transferring stitches. Goes pretty quick once you get going. So there you go. So here we are at the waste yarn. I have put my working yarn way far in behind the machine so that it doesn't accidentally get knit in. I'm not changing any settings at this time. I'm just knitting across with a high contrast waste yarn. I'm going to knit probably 20 rows. That's probably enough. Going to tension 10. Oh my goodness. I have a yarn barf. Goodness gracious. Okay. I'm now going to latch tool cast off this waste yarn so that I lose nothing. We'll come back when I have it all off the machine. So this was the end of day 1. The battery on my camera died, but I did not notice. I removed the piece from the machine, set it aside. I then cast on with waste yarn in 1x1 ribbing, 39 left to 1 left, and inserted the ribber comb, then the circular cast on, and then I knit 10 rows in waste yarn. Then I transferred the stitches to the main bed, dropped the ribber down, and hung the working piece onto that waste yarn. This is where we will start day 2.